Mum, raising her family here in this fantastic local community. I've been here now, this is my 5th visit to the area, and on every one of them I've been impressed by the work that Mary's done, following on from the work that she did in the last election campaign. Mary Doyle isn't someone who's shopped around for a seat. Mary Doyle's someone who wants to represent this community, and she'll be a strong voice in the government. And it's about time that the opposition recognise that they need to do more than just say no to everything. When I was the leader of the Labor Party in opposition, I put forward constructive ideas. Cheaper childcare was a commitment that we made. Action on climate change, the National Reconstruction Fund and manufacturing jobs were all commitments that I made very early on in my leadership of the party. The opposition under Peter Dutton just sitting there saying no. They've become the observers rather than the participants in our national parliament, and that's why I want Mary Doyle to be elected today. It's tough. Opposition generally gets swings. When Labor's in government, the by-election swings have been between 5 and 6% towards the opposition. And no government has won a seat off the opposition in a by-election for over 100 years. But we're giving it a crack today, and I want to really thank Mary for the work that she's done, and all the volunteers who are out here at polling booths right around the electorate of Aston. And just remind people, voting is compulsory. The truth is the vote is down substantially, the pre-poll voting, and people need to get out there and have their democratic say today. No matter who they're voting for, people should vote. It's a very important principle in our democracy that has served our nation well.
Prime Minister,
Whoa.
How do you rate
Hang on.
Prime Minister, almost everyone we've spoken to at the booths has said that cost of living is an issue for them. Has the inflation dragon now burnt your chances of winning this by-election?
Well, inflation is a real issue, and it's a global phenomenon. Inflation, of course, in places like the United Kingdom is double-digit. And so it was pleasing, the results, the trend going in the right direction this week with the figures, but we know that cost of living pressures are there. That's why we've done measures like the reduction in costs of pharmaceuticals, in cheaper childcare. That's why we support people on the minimum wage, not continuing to go backwards. I mean, during the federal election campaign a year ago, when I said that if the Fair Work Commission granted a pay increase of $1 an hour to people on the minimum wage, then I would welcome that. The opposition, the then government, the Liberal Party, said that the sky would fall in. I mean, it's no wonder they don't support solar energy, because they're always saying that the sky's going to fall in.
Just quickly, if Mary Doyle does win, what do you say that says about Peter Dutton's Liberal leadership?
Oh, that's a matter for the Liberal Party, but at the moment it's just a cultural problem that they have of just pretending that they didn't have the result that they did in last year's election. They continue to just say no to everything. So it's very predictable what their response is. They block and say no to absolutely everything in the Parliament. They're very negative in the way that they approach everything, and I think that Australians deserve better. Australians deserve, in our major party system, an alternative government that puts up alternatives. The current Liberal Party don't put up amendments, they just say no.
Minister, I'm sorry about my voice, it's got COVID. I just wanted to ask, yesterday on 774 you said that it would be astonishing if the Liberal Party didn't get a 2PP result that had a 6 in front of it. That's not really talking up your side. Is that where you think you'll land?
Oh, look, I'm very hopeful of as good a result as possible, but just historically, if you look at this seat, in 2019, their vote had a 6 in front of it. They got 54.7% of the primary vote and a vote that was higher than 60%. What's astonishing is the effort that Mary Doyle put in last time to shave a big part of that margin away, and we're taking this campaign seriously. But history tells us that the coalition, the Liberal Party, should be in a very strong position. That's just what history says. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Just one more.
Has Labor ever had this good a shot at taking Aston from the Libs? And if Labor does win, do you think that's a reflection on you or a reflection on Peter Dutton?
Oh, look, I'm not a commentator. I'll leave it up to others. But what I've done is run a government that is a mature government that functions properly, that says what we'll do and then does it, that is doing our best to deal with immediate challenges when they arise, such as natural disasters and the things that happen in government that we've seen with the impact of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We deal with those immediate things, but we are also putting in place those structural changes that will make a difference for Australia, dealing with skills shortages by fee-free TAFE and through the creation of Jobs and Skills Australia, rebuilding a country where we make things here through the National Reconstruction Fund, action on climate change, action on gender equity through cheaper childcare, through the measures that passed the House of Representatives this week relating to gender pay, supporting pay increases for those who are vulnerable, the heroes of the pandemic, such as aged care workers, will get a 15% pay increase on July 1. My government is a government that gets things done, a government that tries to embrace people right across the spectrum. We're prepared to engage with the Liberal Party as well as the crossbenchers, but they don't seem interested in anything positive. And my government is also fulfilling the commitment with the legislation that we had this week of having a referendum where we'll give all Australians a say in whether we recognise the great honour that we have of sharing this continent with the oldest continuous culture on earth by recognising Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in our Constitution. When I mentioned that last night at the Qantas 100-year anniversary, held in their 103rd year, it must be said, because of the pandemic, it received a very warm response from the business community. And I thank Qantas for joining other businesses, sporting organisations, faith groups, community-based organisations, the trade union movement, who are all saying, yes, it is time to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in our Constitution. It's only the Liberal Party and the National Party, of course, that declared before they even saw the question. We need something better in this country. What we need is optimism. We need to shape the future rather than allow it to shape us. And that's why I want someone positive like Mary Doyle as a member of the caucus, not just someone else added to the people who sit there and say no to everything. That's what today's by-election is about. It's not about personalities, it's about the country, and that's why I'll continue to promote an optimistic view, to seize the opportunities that are there. We are the greatest country on earth, but we can be even better. But that won't happen by accident. That will happen because of leadership and because we are prepared to shape that future and put in place the policies in the interests of all Australians. Thanks very much.